Hey. I thought I'd come online and like show you me like pre getting ready. And I haven't even brushed my hair. I have had breakfast and I have been slightly caffeinated, I will be honest. I thought it was best that I caffeinate myself a little bit before I have coffee. I didn't really want to subject you to like the am I functioning yet? Part of me. Because like that's what I get like. I've got to find some decent music though to get ready to. That is like definitely part of it. I've got to have like good music. I've got my happy playlist. I'm like maybe I should play that. I have like different levels of happy though. Like so sometimes it's like Goldfrapp Pilots, and I'm like no, that's too sleepy. What have we got? Uh, Rocket by Goldfrapp maybe. Play the song. Why would it play? I don't know why it's not doing that. I'll play that one. That's weird. Oh, become the one then. I better brush my hair first. I do this thing when I get up that I just like, it just gets put in a scrunchie with a hairband on and like, and then it gets left like that until I can be bothered. I need like 2 cups of tea before I get to that point. And porridge. And supplements. And I need it to be sunny and it's like full cloud coverage, so I'm just like not exactly as sharp as I usually would be. I basically want to be on Twitch more often, so I'm trying to like find the time. And I was like, well, why don't we do this? I was like, you don't need makeup to go on, but you can show yourself like putting it on. I always feel like it takes me ages to like brush my hair because so much of it. Because obviously like, I don't want to pull it out. I also said to myself that like I wanted to do this, and then I woke up this morning, or my alarm woke me up, and I was like, oh, I need more sleep, because this is like the first time I've had like decent sleep in about 5 days. It's always been about like 5 or 6 hours over the last like week, and I had white bread and melted dark chocolate before bed last night, and it just made me go like, and like made me like really sleep. Because I've been eating healthier, and when I eat like stereotypically healthy, sometimes my sleep suffers. This is basically what I go through every single day with my hair. I'm like, it's worth it, it's worth it, it's worth it, it's worth it. There's just so much of it. The thing is though, like, I'm pretty sure it's getting thicker. So like later on today, probably wondering what I'm getting ready for. Today is like my content day. So pretty much like every Thursday I make content in some way. Whether it's like recorded or captured, like videos, photos, something. I make something. So I think today I'm gonna do photos. I also thought that maybe if I stream this, like, I won't, like, aggressively attack my hair with the hairbrush. Sometimes I get angry at it. I get angry at it because it takes so long to do it. This sounds silly, don't it? There's just so much of it. And I don't want it to snag, you know? It's like, not only is it a mane, but it's also like gingery orange, so it's most definitely a mane, you know? And I've got to be really careful as I get towards the back because I don't want to like get the wrong part of it and then it like pull across because then it just ows my hair. I'm going to have to tie this piece. There we go. I am not wearing bunches, FYI. That is not happening. But it has in the past. Singing happy music is on as well. That's one of my favourite tracks. Who's it by? Super Shy, happy music. Yeah. See what I mean? Like right at the end there was just like a little tiny snag. I'm like, why is the hairbrush only an inch thick? I'm like, why isn't the hairbrush like 2 inches thick? Do they do them like that thick? It feels like I'm having to go through it like to double check. Because the last thing I want is like snags. Right, I think I got it. And then every morning it's Olive Miracle. To keep it nice. Eventually maybe I'll get to drink cold coffee. I can see it in front of me. Eventually I'll get to have a sip. Do you know, this morning it was really interesting because I was like sat outside in the rain looking at the clouds and I was like, I don't have the energy. I can't do a live stream this morning. I don't have the energy. And then all of a sudden I was just like, no, I want it. It was so last minute. And I'm trying to grow my hair longer as well, FYI. Like, I want it longer. I want it like all one length down to about here, so I want like these bits like all the way down here, so they've got about, what's that, like 8 inches? Hey. So I don't know how long that's gonna take. Probably about another year, I reckon. Maybe I'll be a little bit straighter. I suppose it'll be the only thing straight about me. Eventually I will put my makeup on. I gotta do this first though. And this is pretty much like every single morning I do this. I also thought it'd be cool, like, to do some behind the scenes stuff, like, but actually live behind the scenes. Rather than just like photos or recordings or whatever. This is me just trying to get like the back, like right underneath of the back of my neck, because like there's hair everywhere on my head. It's just, there's so much of it. Travel plans? I have no travel plans right now at all. Like zilch travel plans. Safe to say family really misses me. Now let's see if that's any better. Yeah, that's better. It just glides so much more. But I can tell it needs more again. I swear, like, my hair just eats this up. But before I do that, like, I'm gonna have to get a sip of coffee. Like, I'm gonna have to get a sip of coffee, like, look. It's like, yeah, that was a sip. It's like when you ask for a sip of someone else's drink, and you're just like, I just want a sip, please, I just want a sip. And then you just like, and you just like, that was a sip, that was my version of a sip. Sauce. I have to get all the underbits. Sometimes I do this and I'm just like, I drop a little piece of hair and I'm like, oh look, now we're at the point where like, it's a normal person's hair. We're like, there we go. Pretty sure that's what everyone else has. It's like if I can feel snags with my fingers, like, still not enough. It's just me just trying to get like all the tiny little bits underneath, that if I don't, it'll just be like, not smooth and moisturised, you know. And I like my hair to be like soft, because it's so thick. It's so easy for it to get dry, because there's so much of it. No, I'm not trying to be a troll. It's my new style. Sometimes I'm like, oh, is that straight hair? And I pull it and I'm like, no, it's attached to my head. Like, new hairstyle. Oh. Sometimes, like, I feel like Cousin Out. That was actually, like, my nickname. Like, friends and family is like Cousin Out. Oh. Right. I brush that again in a bit. I like to let the stuff sink into it. Mop Top was another nickname. From Play-Doh years back. Now, time for makeup. Okay. Is that everything? Need to make sure I don't have any hair on my face. There we go. Spray. Powder. Probably should get wet wipes as well, in case I get it everywhere. Hello. Wet wipes. This is gonna sound like a little lazy, but like quite often I just do like the same makeup like all the time, and then every now and again I'll be like, I want something different, and I'm like, I'm putting stripes on my eyes today, and I'm just like, really, is that appropriate? Just like I'm having rainbow eyes, like I'm gonna wear yellow eyeshadow today, yellow, pink, and purple. I'm like, really, does that even go with anything you're gonna wear? And I'm just like, oh, I'm like, I like it, I'm doing it at the end. So I always put shimmer on, like, the top bit. And then generally I go for neutral. It's just every now and again, like, my brain's just like, we need rainbows on our eyes. Like, you should do that. Like, the other week I ended up with, like, pink stripes, like, going, like, that way. I'm like, I didn't know why that happened. It didn't go with anything. My brain was just like, yeah, let's do it. It's a good idea. I think that's what happens when I just like, I do neutral too much, you know? More coffee. More coffee! Should have got more coffee. Alright, so... No, I should get one of those wet wipes out now. I think it's that I like all the colours, you know? Now I'm just like, ooh, I'm like, maybe I should do like makeup ASMR, you know? But like not putting it on other people, putting it on me. Just lay this out. There we go. Let me pop that there. So like these are what I picked from. Like, this is where the makeup goes everywhere. So that's what I picked from. If you can see that. Like, that's why I end up with pink eyeshadow sometimes, because there's lots of pinks and purples on that. And then underneath, there are even more pinks and even more purples and browns and stuff, blacks and like that. See how much pink there is. And that is why sometimes I end up with like very funky eye makeup. And then there's this one as well. Like if I want more oranges. I'm like, do neutral, do neutral. I'm like, do it. Don't do bright stuff. Not today. Right. So yeah, I'm gonna be boring and do neutral makeup. I don't want to though. Thing is, like, I don't actually know what kind of makeup I want to do if it wasn't neutral. It'd probably end up pink, truth be told. Oh, I just realised I forgot my sponges. I got all this prep the other day, I was like full of energy. I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do this. Like wake up and I'm just like, no, we need porridge. And quiet. But then like my energy starts coming up and like then it just like keeps going up and I just end up full of beans. I'm really bouncy. And then eventually, at some point, I'm going to bring it down. Hence that exercise stream. That's what that's for. That's to get my energy back down. Or attempted to. Literally the last like couple of days, I've been able to stop eating. Like I've been eating like loads of chicken and like rice and like veg. I've been so hungry. Literally like my appetite only just like settled down yesterday. And my aches and pains from exercise have gone away. Because you made me suffer on the last one. Because you did. No one talked to me for like 20 minutes. You watched though, didn't you? You all watched. As I like had to do squats and arm exercises. Right, I need to make this go darker now. Let's go with this one. That was the first time as well though that I'd done like weights and then I'd done like stretches and then at the end I'd done like floor work and core. The weird part is, and if anyone can give me any help on this at all, it'd be really appreciated. Like, I'm doing core, like sticking my legs out and bringing myself in, like to like try and get my core going. And the only thing that aches is my legs. I'm like, how can I get my core to ache? Ah! Hey there, standalone module. That is such a geeky name. I should join Peloton as an instructor. Don't you need? Oh, I just put it in the wrong color. Oops. I don't know how to. Is that a thing you can do? Like you can be like, hey Peloton, employ me. Do you know what? It's like it's not even something I thought of. I'm not like, what's the word? Like professionally trained. I don't have the piece of paper to go with it. You know. I just have the attitude. That would be so much fun though. Oh, I'm gonna end up with really dark makeup now. I chose the wrong colour. I wasn't paying attention. Well, I suppose I'll just have to do it like that on the other eye now too. Wow, that's really dark. So I need to think about keeping my core tight. Imagine sucking in your navel and focus drawing your belly button downwards your back. Yeah. Well, look, there's makeup everywhere like I thought there would be. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that the exercises that I was doing where I was like, you know, you like pivot on your butt and your tailbone and you put your legs out and then you bring them in. Like, I think that was great for my legs and like the tiniest amount of core. I think I'm gonna like work my core out. I'm gonna have to like be like really honest with myself and be like, we both know that the only thing that really works for you is sit-ups. It's the only thing that like can get me focusing on it, but I really hate them. But for some reason, like people have mentioned that they like to watch me suffer, and you know, I wonder where that could be. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to do the things that I don't want to do for that, because like it's like my body is just like being lazy with like focusing the like tension, you know, like it's like, yeah, we'll like tense your legs. Planks and bear crawls. I was a bear crawl. That makes me want to growl like it's like the cutest little growl ever. Planks. See, the problem I've got with what's a plank again? Oh yeah, I know what it is. Last time I done planks, it gave me a bad crunchy knee and it's never really got better. So I can't do planks for health reasons, because again they don't work my core. Like I have to do like what is like, I imagine, where you just focus it like just on one place. Like I don't know what that word is called. It's called like an isolation exercise. Cause like that's pretty much like the only thing that works for my core, because it just gets lazy and refuses to like do that thing. Contract, is it? Tense. Isometric training. So isometric training is basically like where you isolate. Yeah, I think that's pretty much like what my body like will respond to for core. When I was younger, like when I was 18, I used to do like 500 sit-ups a day. And that worked. I really don't want to. I'm like, but maybe because you don't want to, you should. I'm just like, okay. But this is going to happen later, and I like to exercise, or at least be available to exercise for like an hour. Isolate and hold. Yeah, that tends to be a sit-up for me because I can like, you know, like do that, and I can feel it when I'm doing it now. I've got the muscle under there, it gets lazy. And it's just like, no, we just tense our legs and like move upwards. I think it's because I've got such a little torso. I've got like a petite person's torso on like a tall person's legs. Like my legs are like 31 inches long. I'm only like 170 centimeters, so I don't know what that is, like 5'6", 5'7". And the top part of me is just like quite short. My ribs to my like hip are like that big. So I think my tummy's just like lazy. So I gotta find a way for it to not be lazy. There we go. I just want to brighten that up a bit. I'm like, add gold, that will work. You know what, it's like kind of interesting because I just know no one's looking at my eyes, like, but I'm like, I'm looking at my eyes and I want to feel good. So I'm like, I'm making them gold. There we go. But yeah, I'm gonna do some core later. Like, my legs, my eggs were so achy. My legs were so achy. I'll give you advice if you want it. It'll be lengthy. Go on, just do it. Giving me it in like little like chunks so it's not a big paragraph as well, because otherwise I'll struggle reading it. Right. What are we doing next? Like more gold. More gold for my eyes to match my hair. And then I think some more like up here. I'm gonna have to go and get my foundation and a spongy, because I forgot about that bit. I think it's because like when I exercise, I don't wear makeup. So I can't wear makeup and sweat, you know. Like I'll just end up smearing it all over my face. Like not really into that. I'm like, is that enough? Is that enough? I'm like, no, it's not. There we go. I think after this bit I'm gonna go and get that makeup sponge and my actual like foundation. I'll come back and there'll be like a paragraph of advice for my core. Right, 2 ticks. I'm just gonna go and get spongy. And I just gotta go with it. But I didn't get my foundation today. Didn't get my foundation because I forgot. Isn't it here? No. There we go. I don't know why I forgot the foundation. I think I'm just like, I just want eye makeup. There we go. That's better. So what are you telling me? Okay, so start by a big inhale, like in through my nose. So like breathe in, but when I breathe in my belly goes out. I'm just like so confused. So, oh, so like you chest breathe. Ah, okay, so bring your chest out and bring your belly in when you breathe is what you're saying. I think is what you're saying. Hold it there for 1 to 15 seconds before slowly releasing. This helps brace everything and floods the muscle with blood. Ah, okay. So, chest out. See, I'm just like, I don't think I breathe properly. That sounds like such a bad thing to say, but I imagine it's quite common. Because I heard ages ago that like breathing when you're exercising like in a particular way is like quite important, but like my bouncy brain just like went on to something else. Chest out, draw your shoulders back and together. Is this when you're doing a sit-up? Or is this just like for anything? Because like I feel what you're saying like when I do like those kind of exercises like with the weights out, which I can't do many of, but I really like them. For anything. Ah, okay. That would explain like why I've been struggling with some and not others. For some it seems like that type of like motion and like that kind of breath seems like really like natural and I'm already doing it, and then on others it's not, so I should just be doing it for all. Chest flies, yeah. But I really hurt after that in like ways I didn't know I could. I was like, why do things hurt? I was like, okay, cool. I'll try that later. So hold my breath and then slowly let it out as I'm exercising. So even if I'm going through like the reps, like, and I do 2 reps per like 15 seconds, just like slowly let it out as I'm doing the reps. Should always brace under load, especially deadlifts. I don't do deadlifts. Squats I do. Yeah, I found when I was squatting that I was like doing like, and I was chest breathing for it. I think it's when I'm doing like floor work. I don't like saying like, but my brain gets lazy. It's just like, and I'm like, now I'm starting to realize like why I'm not like getting certain areas to do what I want. Okay, so like even for my core I should be like bracing, you know, like I'm gonna so ache. I'm gonna be like crawling around tomorrow like help. Thank you for that advice. That's like breathe through the rep like into the next one, I'm guessing. Okay, so like I'm guessing like 1 breath is 2 reps on average. That's been really helpful. I'm like, I must remember this later. I must remember this later. This is me later, like, why isn't it working? Because I've forgotten. No, I don't want to forget. Okay, so to properly breathe during strength training, inhale on the, I don't know what that word is, eccentric phase? I only know eccentric means like quirky. And exhale during the, you need to, I'm just really sorry, but I don't know what those words mean. Concentric phase. Concentric is like that contract. Exhale when you're doing the hardest work. Yeah, I find that when I'm doing the ones above my head and I'm like in my like, really like, not particularly nice face, you know, like you pull like the ugliest faces when you exercise, don't you? And inhale as you're coming back to your starting position. Okay, cool. Properly breathing will make it easier to perform the exercise. Yeah, I find that when I do my weights that like it's like more obvious. But when I'm doing things that don't involve any sort of weight on me, it's like my body just goes like, well, hey, we can do whatever we want. And I'm like, whoa. I think that's why I used to have to do so many to like find the like tension point. You got it with the overhead press. Move. The eccentric would be the push up. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. That's like been really helpful. I think I'm gonna have to think a lot more when I'm doing my floor work and stuff, because I don't know what it is, but my body just and my mind just like disengages, and I don't know why. It's like I prefer the pressure of weights. I can tell by Peloton, I remember. People who leave smart comments that I respond to, like, I generally like remember them if like it's within like, you know, the last 24 hours. Like I really like it when people like say I'm pretty and beautiful and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, it's lovely being complimented. It's just there's so many of them, so that when like someone's like smart and witty, it really stands out. So then I generally respond, and when I have like a small amount of interaction, like I generally remember them. As long as it's not like, you know, like, it sounds terrible, like 2 or 3 days like in between the interaction, because as you can probably imagine, there's a lot. But yeah, I remember you. There we go. I think I've like finally done my eyes. Now I'm just like, are they even? I'm like, no one's looking. No one's caring. I'm like, it's only you that can notice. Okay, so now foundation. 2, 3. And this one. There we go. Ah, that's made you blush. No one can see, it's okay. Hey, could you imagine if I went red? Like, everyone would know you could put me outside as a beacon. Oh, do you know what someone asked me once? Like, do you make yourself paler? And I'm like, no. No, I don't. It's like, this is me. This is why I've started coming on without makeup on, so people can like see like what I'm like. Yeah, like, plus like there's the fact that, you know, I'm not exercising with makeup on. That's just not happening. When I used to go to the gym, I used to see like ladies wearing makeup. Thank you. I used to see ladies wearing makeup in the gym, and I was like, how does that work? And I was like, maybe they don't punish themselves like you do, you know. Thanks for the hair color as well. Like, it's taken me a while to like get the courage, if I'm honest with you, to go like permanent, because I was scared it was gonna like ruin my hair, and I didn't know how it was gonna take, and I'd never done like my own hair and stuff like that before. The gym Barbies! 2% incline for 45 minutes on Netflix. It's been such a long time since I've been to the gym. I don't know if Netflix is a thing in the gym, but I'm going to take your word on that. Like, there used to be ladies like in the gym that I used to go to in Liverpool, and they were like, you just look great when they were in the gym. I was like, you know, you can't help but look at them. And I was just like, that's so cool. I was like, how do they do that? Like, I think someone had like fake eyelashes on and stuff, and I was like I admired that, because like that's not something that I could do. I quite often admire the things in people that like I can't do, because like, yeah, fake tan and like blonde hair and all that, and I really like that look, to look at people. Like, it's not for me, like, clearly, but I still admire it, and I still think it looks nice. Like, I can admire the things in other people that aren't for me. You know, you can appreciate things. But I was like, how do they do it? And then I realised they don't sweat, they don't push. But I'm like, how do they look like that and not push then? I still haven't figured it out. And when I used to go to the gym, I used to like, I don't know what the incline was, but like I couldn't talk, like hold a proper conversation like at the same time as doing it. So I don't know what the incline was, but it was, I don't know. I used to just try as much as I could. I used to like pushing, and like doing the incline thing and walking was one of my favourite things. But as time's gone on, I don't know if it's like as I'm getting older or what, but walking isn't as like, it doesn't give me the same stress reduction as it used to. And I think it's because my diet's better than it used to be. Like, I used to think like beef burgers were unhealthy, okay? And now I know that they're not. Now I know they're necessary for me, because I need saturated fat, and I need beef, and I've learned all sorts of things that I could go on about forever, and I would never ever take photos, you know? But I've recently learned about myself in the last couple of years that like, I don't have problems with my dopamine being low. I have like the opposite problem, that I can get high dopamine. And I learned that saturated fat helps lower it. And when I mean I like a really healthy diet, sometimes, you know, something like a beef burger with cheese, like I had yesterday, triple beef burger, homemade, is necessary for me to stay steady. Otherwise, you can like become unbalanced. So I think that's why I'm not really bothered about walking anymore, and I would rather lift my weights and do floor work and just take a different approach to things, you know? Waterproof mascara and dry shampoo, well, that's the whole deal for you. It's pushing through the pain where you find that pleasure. Your body comp is nearly all died. Oh, yeah, I read it's something like 80%. Yeah, in fact, it's super important for hormone regulation, especially, this is what I've read, especially for women as they age. Like, this whole, like, low-fat diet for women is just, like, a whole load of, like, rubbish. I don't eat beef burgers, like, every day. Because, like, I just don't. But I have started to notice when I need them. And recently, I've had, like, problems with, like, dry skin and eczema, which is usually a sign for me that my stereotypical female hormones are a little bit low and my T is a little bit high from exercising and like eating all the whole grain and the vegetables and the chicken and stuff. And I was like, you need a beef burger. And I was like, you need a beef burger. I was like, eat the beef burger. So I ate it. You know what? You probably would have liked watching me eat it. It was like messy all over my face. Like it was just like all over the table. You know? It wasn't classy. But yeah, the whole like idea that like some food is like healthy and some food is unhealthy, I've had to let go of it because like I just have. The only one thing that I know that is true for me, because I've tried it a couple of times now, is that I need lactose free. If we're going to eat cheese, yogurts, anything dairy, milk, like it's got to be lactose free because I can feel the difference. But that's the only thing. I actually went vegan during the summer to eliminate everything from my diet, and I went like that for 6 weeks, and then I slowly reintroduced things, and I could feel what the food was doing for me. And since then, I've been able to like understand what my body needs more so than I did before. It's not perfect. I'm still learning, but it's better than it was. Like last night, I had white bread with melted dark chocolate, like sugar-free dark chocolate, like full fat, with sweetened with stevia. And I had that on 2 pieces of white bread. That knocked me out. I struggle sleeping. I have done like since my teens. I still think it's to do with like something like hormones and serotonin and dopamine, but I'm figuring it out. Oh, hello again. Right. I just need to read this. It's like flagged up as ooh yeah, like let's have a look. Women's hormone cycle stretches over 28 days. Yeah, men's is daily in it. Like I need to like put this on my FOD before it dries. No, I've had it since I was a teenager. I've actually had it since I was a kid. It's eczema. It's not very nice to look at. It's like I get it on my thumbs and stuff. I've inherited it from my dad's side. So yeah, I didn't grow out of it. You can't eat gluten because it makes you an biatch, which is impressive for a 15-stone gym nut. And now you're proper hungry for gosh. I'm gonna allow that message. There we go. Anything with swearing in it or anything like that, I have to allow it. Because I want to keep my chat room like relatively like, I don't like saying clean, but I don't know how else to put it. Oh, I think I'll put way too much on that. Yeah, no worries. Everyone has different moderations on their chat rooms. Like some people will allow certain things in. I've had it like this because I just wanted to see how I went. I can always like relax it a little bit, but I wanted to see like what it didn't allow in the chat, and I think it's like it doesn't allow swearing and stuff. But yeah, I've had eczema since I was a little kid. It used to be a lot worse when I was younger. like the behind the knees stuff, like I used to like scratch it raw when I was like 3, 4, and like they have to like put creams on me and stuff. But as I've got older, it's gotten a bit better, and from what I've read, it can be due to like an imbalance in hormones, and I think because it's like dry, I think it's too much tea sometimes, even though like I obviously like don't look like a guy. It's like, even though my system's probably got normal levels of stuff, it can be like some things are like a little bit too dominant in my system, and it can cause it to come on, and it's quite often when I'm eating really healthily, you know. So I do my best to then try and regulate it, but it's like, how can I put it? It can be quite difficult because like I'm not gonna just go and eat like burgers for the next 3 days. So then it's like glycerin moisturizers. Like I make them myself, like homemade, because I found that that's the stuff that works the best for me. I basically figure out what's in the stuff that works and then like improve on it. It's like litres of glycerin in the cupboards. There we go. I think it finally warmed up. And yeah, I wear pink fluffy pants. I have the most mismatching like loungewear sets you can imagine. Right, there we go. I think that's all my powder done. Not powder, foundation. There we go. We're good. I'm just gonna leave that to like dry my face now. Your friend of yours who works in petrochemistry, I'm guessing that's like some sort of oil thing, like petrol. E45 is the only moisturiser anyone needs. Yeah, E45 is what I got prescribed, and it was okay. But I found glycerin is what works the best for me, and I can also use glycerin to make like hair products and stuff like that. And you've also got things like eucerin, which contains about, depending on which one you get, 10% urea, which I've used as well. And that comes in like loads of different types of formats, like lotion versus cream and things like that, and I found that to be really good as well. But that's an exfoliant moisturiser. I don't know if you know what that is. It basically like takes a layer off and then like also moisturizes at the same time, and I find that is better for my face. But since I used a glycerin, I used like glycerin aloe gel and a tiny bit of almond oil. I also mix in things like Factor 100, like what's it called, like sun cream. I just like shake it all in a bottle, and I'm just like, I'm good. So I do that, and then I've done one for my hands as well, because I was like finding the one for my face wasn't like strong enough, but the one that I would use for my hands would just leave me with like a shiny face, you know. So, and then I've got one of the night that I use, and yeah, that's like basically what I've done, because I wasn't finding that I could get what I wanted. Like some of the eucerin was too greasy, like something like E45, it doesn't do what I want. And I was like, I want to use all of these things combined, and glycerin is the main thing that I want. And I've made loads of things for myself. Like I used to make candles, I've made soap, I do painting and all sorts. There's like a artsy, like crafty, creative streak in me, and it comes out in different ways. So what am I doing next? Like, did I even use any of those colourful ones? I'm like, nope. I'm like, maybe one day. I'm like, eyebrows. I gotta show everyone I've got eyebrows now. Although I don't really need to do too much with them, you know. DP, I don't even know what's in DPs. I'm guessing it's some sort of like menthol. I know that like most people buy it. Like I've used DP before, like on my legs and stuff, to like stop them aching. Yeah, Mm, I don't know. One thing I know is that like glycerin conducts heat. So like whenever I put it on my hands and I rub it together, because sometimes I wash my face with it with like some soap to like keep the balance. Because again, my face reacts to like all sorts. So I'm just like I just make my own. You can buy shares. But yeah, like maybe have a look at something like mixing glycerin and menthol together. Like obviously look it up on the internet. Like number one, I am not a chemist. Buy glycerin. Yeah, well, glycerin does conduct heat. And if you want it like to help like ease tension, then depending on like what area you're gonna put it, you might want to look into something like clove oil as well. It stinks a bit, but like I don't know how those two things like mixing together would interact. But I know glycerin definitely conducts heat because I put it on my face and I was like, why does my face feel warm? I looked on the internet and it was like, yeah, glycerin conducts heat. Yeah, you could try like mixing like menthol and glycerin together and just see if it works. Like whatever the active ingredient is in DP, like providing you can like measure things like in milliliters or whatever it is, like you might want to just try mixing it together. A bottle of glycerin on Amazon is something like a tenner or something, or 15 quid. And whatever menthol is, like obviously do a little bit digging and see what type of menthol, because I'm guessing like menthol can be like different things. I'm not sure on that. Like I'm like, is menthol like eucalyptus? Is menthol actually just a thing? I'm like, is it mint? I don't know what menthol is, so I need to look that up. Do you know where I can get tickets to the Manchester Derby? I have no idea. Absolutely zero idea. I'm guessing that's football, is it? I don't know. I don't know where you can get tickets for that. I've never bought tickets for anything, like ever. Like someone's always taking care of like my travel and everything. So I don't really know about things like that. Sorry. Maybe like, is it Ticketmaster or something like that would help? I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna guess it's football. Like, so I got eyebrows now, so we're cool. Oh, albus oil. Yeah, that's got menthol. That's eucalyptus, isn't it? Albus is eucalyptus. Rubbing eucalyptus on your feet will help your nose apparently, and I did it, and it was really nice. Like, do you want that again? Like it was good when I had a cold. Like just all over the feet, rub them together. Obviously, like don't stand up because you'll like fall over, and just like let it dry. And whatever you put on your feet, apparently, like it goes through your entire system. Like, but I found it really helpful. Oh, by the way, this is one of the things that I made. This is what I put on my my face. Afterwards, it looks terrible, doesn't it? Doesn't that look awful? Like it's just like kind of cloudy and yellow, but I spray it all over my face. Lemonade. And it's got aloe gel in it and glycerin and a little bit of almond oil and like water, and it moisturizes through my makeup, but it doesn't make it like shiny or sticky. That's a bit opaque, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I was buying like what you call setting spray, makeup setting spray, and there's stuff that's actually decent and doesn't like make you feel like you've just sprayed like chemicals on your face. It's like 15 quid a pop for one, and I can get through them really, really quickly. And I was just like, what's in this? First ingredient, glycerin. Or water glycerin, and I was like, okay. And then I started to notice my hair products were like water glycerin. And I was like, my moisturizer, water glycerin. I was like, well, I got water. I'm like, maybe I need some glycerin. I'm just gonna like take this out. I'll be back in two. I just need to nip to the loo. 2 ticks. else we've done there? Your home office air is a bit dry. You might try the opaque stuff. Yeah. If your home office air is dry, then I don't know if you could try a humidifier mixed in with it. I don't know if that would help. You can get like little portable ones, or like little USB ones, and they just kind of like gently heat up, and you can put like oils in them and stuff, and it like brings out water. I think they're about 15 quid. Everything's 15 quid from Amazon, isn't it? And it just like kind of like puts hot steam into the air. It's only a little bit. You appreciate that level of smart. Do you know what? Because like I literally like nipped out and took like a coffee cup out and like nipped to the bathroom. I've kind of forgotten about that part of the conversation, so I'm really sorry. I have a bit of a goldfish memory sometimes, and then other things like glycerin, and I'll like talking about dopamine and serotonin, like neurotransmitters and like hormones. Like I'm fine with that. You tried making your own pre-workout? You mean like food or like pre-workout what? Your kitchen looked like a mess. It tastes utterly foul. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get some protein powder for my oats. That's one thing that I'm gonna change. I need to like start documenting what I'm doing, like, you know, like actually taking photos, but like, you know, when in the morning I'm just like, I feel like a zombie in the morning. I think I look like a zombie as well. I don't know if people are gonna appreciate zombie me, you know. Right. Do you know the other thing is like trying to find like makeup powder that is like pale enough for me, but also not shiny. I'm like, I don't want to look orange. I went to a Clinique counter once and they put foundation on me and I was like, take that off. Take it off. I was like, that's orange? And they were like, it's called porcelain. I was like, no, it's really not. They got the name wrong. I'm like, it's really not. Where's my... There we go. I'm like, I don't want to take photos. I want to stay here and talk. Oh yeah, like, yeah. Water glycerin. It was like water glycerin, castor oil was one in my hair products. I tried using water glycerin and almond oil and it's like, it's a little bit heavy. I'm like, maybe castor oil, like, rather than clove oil will be better. Because I mixed clove oil and I was like, But clove oil is another one that like conducts heat. So if you put glycerin, clove oil, and maybe like menthol together, like, it might sting a bit when you put it onto like your legs and stuff to like help your muscles. But I imagine that probably work, you know? I like making my own stuff. Eventually, like, I think measuring it out and getting the measurements correct would really help. I'm just kind of like, you know, experimenting with it and just seeing what works. You may have, yeah, like, glycerin's like pretty cheap off Tinterwebbies. Like, I just get mine from Amazon, like pretty much a lot of people probably do. I get so much from Amazon. I know, like, some people are like, Amazon, it's evil. I'm like, Amazon delivers everything to me. Like, I make glycerin from there, I get my protein powder from there eventually. It's in the save for later pile. Like, you can have a save for later pile and put all your stuff in there that you want. What are we talking about again? Sorry. Are we talking about your dry skin? Or are we talking about for your achy muscles? Because I know you said there's dry air. Like, are we talking about the achy muscle thing? Icky muscles. Okay, for your icky muscles. I'm so gonna take advantage of your spelling mistake. For your icky muscles. Almond oil is okay, but it, from what I've gathered, it doesn't conduct heat. When I put almond oil in the bath, like, I came out and I was like, I am smooth. Like, you know, like, I am so smooth. Like, it felt great. But it doesn't conduct heat. So, while I'm not a professional on this, like, from the information that I know, just from, like, reading about stuff, like, I would use glycerin as a base because you want it to conduct heat to be able to, like, take the ache away. Whereas, like, almond oil is going to be, like, more moisturizing, and also, like, from what I've gathered, like, glycerin is not an oil, whereas almond oil is an oil. I'm guessing almond oil creates, like, more of a barrier as well. Whereas glycerin will eventually soak in. Like, I don't know if you know anything about that, like, you got anything to share on that? But that's like just like my opinion from what I know. It's so smooth! Yeah, I know. I just put like a capful in and it was so much better than anything I'd ever had, like from the doctors for like putting like soaks in and stuff, because I used to have something called, it was like soy oil, and it was something that like numbed the skin, like, so you didn't feel itchy, but it just make it really smooth, so if you like shaved with it on, it like felt like really bizarre and tingly, but it was also really cool. But I stopped, like, I slowly stopped like needing it because I started to get my diet better, and then I started like wanting to be able to just like, you know, like do it myself. Let me turn the light down so you can see my face. Problems of being really pale under light, you're just like, I'm a ghost, I've got no nose. Sometimes when I filmed, like, that's what happens is like I like wipe myself out like way too much and I'm just like, oh, you've got a nose? I'm like, hopefully people won't mind. But yeah, glycerin's gonna conduct more heat from what I've gathered. Almond oil would be good for the bath, but be very careful with it because it coats you, it'll coat the bath. Like, you get it on your hands and you're trying to like hold on to things, it's all gonna be really slippy. Like, I dried my hands with a towel like before I got out of the bath, and was just very careful manoeuvring when I used almond oil in the bath. But try glycerin. Get a litre of it, like, because you'll use it for all sorts. You can get like little travel containers as well that you can use for like mixing it. Like, I just like poured like, I think it was like a third glycerin, some aloe gel, because aloe gel tends to like dry, as in like it doesn't like coat the skin, it will like be sucked into the skin, and also it does something like it increases the frequency of fibroblasts within the skin. Like, it helps it, like, I'm guessing, create more of like the good stuff. Like, you know, do your fact checking on that, but that's what I read on Google. That's why aloe gel is good for the skin. So yeah, I mix that with glycerin, but you want to mix glycerin with like heat, don't you? Like, you want as much heat as you can have, like for a cream or gel or something. So maybe the glycerin, clove oil, and eucalyptus, and maybe or the menthol might work out really well for you. Obviously, like, do it in a small container first, like, and see how it goes, and like test it. But I hadn't thought of that. I'm like, that could be a really good idea, like when I make it. I wasn't sure how this was gonna go today as well, like this whole like morning thing. I was like, people are either gonna vibe it or they're not, you know. But I thought it's a different time to go on. Maybe I'll chat to different types of people. You're gonna give it a try, that's cool. You're very impressed. I'm geeking out by the mention of fibroblast tissues. Yeah, that's something I learned in like 2019. When I was like Googling about like why aloe is like good for shaving rash. So nice. But like, that's what came up was like aloe gel. And I was just finding that like it was great, but then it also like made my skin really red, because I'm guessing it increases what's the thing, like where all your veins like do vasodilation, circulation, that it increased that. So like, I didn't really want a red face, you know. I don't want to be that beacon that stands outside. So I thought I'll mix it with other things, and like so far like mixing it with glycerin and almond oil is like working like pretty well for me. At some point I might come on and like just make it and be like, hey, this is like what I do. I think I just make it like so quick that I just don't even think about it. It's just like, this is how it goes together, and off I go, and like doing whatever it is that I'm doing. But it would be good to be able to measure it out and stuff, so that I know exactly what goes into it for what I like. Vasodilation, it's killing you. Why is it killing you? But that's the word. Like, I watch 1 hour of TV a day, leave me alone. Oh, I like reading about things like the endocrine system and like how the body works and like nutrition and things like that. I used to be like so hooked up on like how I looked, like I had to be thin all the time. Like if I was like over a size 10, like the world would end. And like if I was over like 9.5 stone, the world would end. I'm like, now I weigh 70 kilos. I'm like, the world is still here and so am I, and I feel pretty good. Like, so that side of me, like I've let go of it. Like I'm not gonna like punish myself for those things anymore. Like I'm gonna find balance. And part of it has been like learning about like all different types of things. Excuse me. I think I'm inhaling makeup. And yes, some of it is like learning about things like vasodilation, vasoconstriction, because I learned that from vasopressin. That you need a certain amount of it to be able to sleep. Like you need serotonin to sleep, you need to have a certain amount of dopamine, but not too much. You need all sorts in like certain balance, and like serotonin. You get it from 5-HTP from what I've like gathered. That's a vasoconstrictor. Melatonin is a vasodilator, and both of them have an impact on your prolactin levels, is also what I've learned. Oh, you're retraining as an endocrinologist. Oh, that's so cool. Like I visit one because I've got autoimmune. I've got Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Boring, but I do. And there's only so much that like that you can do in the time that you see them. So I just start Googling things. And like some of it's been useful and some of it hasn't. But learning about like all the other processes that go on around the thyroid and what can cause autoimmunity and things like that has been quite helpful. So this is lighting up your brain like a Christmas tree. Glad I'm not the only one. I really like talking about stuff like this. I was like, I could so chat with my endo. Like, I would chat with my endo like constantly. I could like have lunch with them, but I'm like, that would be unprofessional. So yeah, I like all that kind of stuff. I ended up at points like reading about something, I can't remember, it was like Science Daily or something. And it was like about, was it IGF? Something, intrinsic growth factor. I can't remember the number that was after it because I know there's like lots of different numbers. It was 20 something and it was something to do with a high carb diet and how technically eating a high carb diet for like a short period of time can stimulate the metabolism to like burn fat in the same way that like eating high protein can, and it's about like varying it up, and that's why if you constantly just eat like high protein all the time, like it's not as good for you as like if you then every now and again like load up on carbs, because it helps your liver store glucose again, and it also like tricks your metabolism, I think, is what I read. It was a while back. There's a lot of stuff in my brain, and sometimes storage is a bit squiffy, you know? It's not like I do it professionally, it's just I do it because I like to learn about it. So like you could talk to me about serotonin and dopamine like literally until like my exercise time later, you know? I don't want to go! I've got to like be careful I don't drop my makeup on the floor. That's like a palette, just like it's like exploding on the floor if I'm not careful. But yeah, I like all this kind of stuff. Like, but it's really difficult to find people to talk to about it. Like my mum and dad are just like, what are you talking about? Like, sorry, I don't understand you. I'm like, okay, so I've learned to just not say things because they don't get it. Oh, what am I doing? Right, what have I got on my face? Right. Weird spray thing. There we go. Dopamine is so underrated. Hello there, tiny toy. Yeah, okay, so like, you just had to, didn't you? You had to mention dopamine. Like, you just had to. Okay then, well, I'm gonna have to put my makeup down now. I'll put my mascara on in a minute. So, the one thing that I learned about dopamine is that, and this was a while back, I don't know if I should talk about this because I've had hate from talking about this, but I learned that dopamine, prolactin, and progesterone all have like their own like little balance, like so the more dopamine you can have in your system, technically the more cortisol you'll produce, so that's one balance, but like dopamine will lower your prolactin levels, and progesterone also lowers your prolactin levels, and prolactin is an immunomodulator for the immune system, and it's also, apparently, I read this from the interwebs, that prolactin is what got increased in our systems whenever any of us had the vaccine, which I did. I've had like 3, but I haven't had any more. And I'm like, that's probably why I felt rough for like a month. Like after each vaccine, it took me like 4 to 6 weeks to recover. And I'm like, it could be that the prolactin levels like increased, and prolactin can also lower testosterone. But in some cases, prolactin can technically increase testosterone, and that tends to be more prevalent with women who have PCOS. Anyway, so like that's kind of what I learned. I don't know how much I'm getting right. It's just stuff I read on the internet. I try and read like studies and stuff if I can, like if I can understand them. But yeah, dopamine is really good for the immune system as well, is what I've read. Like if you can get dopamine from things, get it. Although be careful how much you get, because it's linked to cortisol, and high cortisol can then really mess with your sex hormones and stuff, because cortisol lowers the production of pregnenolone, and you need pregnenolone for all your sex hormones because it's the grandmother hormone. I love me some Pubmed! That's pretty much what I've read. And I've heard other people say it as well, like apparently like if you got too much of one, like you got too much like, I don't know, prolactin in your system, like you might feel like really like sedate and lethargic. And I noticed when I wasn't eating dairy that I was like really, really revved up, like way too revved up. And then when I started eating dairy again, it came down. And also when I started eating saturated fat from beef. I kind of like learned some of this stuff from like going vegan and then not being vegan. I don't think it's healthy for me. I'm like, each to their own, but don't try and push your stuff on me because you don't live in my body. You know? But yeah, I take 5-HTP to sleep overnight because it helps lower, I think, my cortisol levels. I think it helps lower my T levels. And I think it helps lower my dopamine levels. I think I get a little bit like attached to dopamine. And sometimes I don't know how to like chill of an evening. I really struggle like relaxing of a night. I get like really twitchy and stuff. Like I don't want to go to sleep, I just want to keep going. That's why I've started exercising of a night time. Well, of an evening. Because I was like, you need to start doing it. I was like, if you do it for people to watch, I was like, you're more than likely to just keep doing it. I was like, if you try and do it for yourself, I was like, you'll just not. Like, previously you have done. I just need to finish this eye, and then I'll look at your message. There we go. Homeostasis. Yeah, can I have that, please? I'd like that. Yeah, I'm finding it easier like of a daytime, and I'm finding it easier through the seasons as well. Like I've realised like when it's like grey sky, like full cloud coverage, that I really need to focus on getting my E and my P, my estrogen and progesterone, like a little bit like down and my T back up. But it's almost like I need the opposite of a nighttime, and that's where I struggle. I need to get my dopamine up, but if it's full sunshine and it's like it's summer, I need to be eating beef. Like they just don't teach you this stuff, you know. You have any idea how many women now get an ADHD in the yeah, I've heard that and I've read that. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Yeah, like they struggle concentrating on things and like focusing on things and things like that, and they struggle to prioritize. Is that what that is? I'm guessing that's what it is. Yeah, that's one thing I don't struggle with is focus. It's the opposite. I used to really struggle at points with like organization, prioritization, and focus. And my other half like taught me the value of the Excel spreadsheet. and I have not let go of the Excel spreadsheet. I use it for like loads of different things, and like now I really like it because organization is actually one of the things that I'm really good at, and I think that's where I get a lot of my dopamine from, is organization. It's that when it gets to nighttime, I just don't see I don't see the point of sleeping. That sounds so stupid, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't have a problem with focusing on things that I'm not interested in, because I'm not interested in doing the dishes, but I still do them, and to a certain degree, like I then get dopamine from it because I don't want to do it, but I do it, and then I get the dopamine from doing something that I didn't want to do. I'm like, if I can find dopamine in something, like I will find it, even if it's just a little bit, and then I'll make it grow, you know. Oh, okay, cool. I don't really know too much about it. Yeah, that's what I did think at points. I was like, are you on the autistic spectrum? Have you got ADHD? Like, I did think that about myself. But as time's gone by, I've started to realize certain things like I need to be able to exercise in the day for like at least an hour, 4 times a week, at least. And I need to eat a diet that's got plenty of meat in it, probably like twice as much as like what they recommend. On average, like my daily intake is like anywhere between like 85 and 110 grams of protein. That massively helps. I need to not count my calories. It's just like get them out the window. And understand and accept that, and this is something I said the other day and I need to get it right in my head. To be able to do the things that I want to do, I need to do the things that I don't want to do. And once you realise that, like, everything just flows, you know? Well, that's what I found anyway. Like, no one wants to do the dishes. Like, you just do them. And sometimes I find that, like, I'll have, like, things that are half complete, but I go through the apartment and, like, in a certain way, and then all of a sudden they're all complete. I don't need to worry about forgetting things. I'm actually really good at household management. Like, I'm in, like, a 2-bedroom apartment at the moment, but I used to have, like, a 5-bedroom house. And there was a time where I like managed that, obviously like my job and a cat at the time, on my own. So I know that I have like high capability for organisation and household management and like all the other things that go with it. Maybe I wouldn't really know, if I'm being honest with you. I don't really feel like I've got the experience in that way to talk about it, like, because I've always been like highly organised. Excuse me. Like, I used to be on medication to sleep called Seroquel, and when I came off that, I struggled for like probably really good 7 years. I came off it in like 2015. I only really like started to understand like more and more and more and more and more and more like what I need to do. Like, I struggled with like eating disorders, like disordered eating, whatever you want to call it, like focus, understanding, like rebellion. Like, I struggled with all sorts like inside my mind, and now that just all feels like it's behind me. I'm still aware of it, but organisation has never been something that I've like struggled with, and also doing what is necessary. I think I've mainly struggled with dopamine. This is me cleaning my brushes, by the way. That's been probably the main thing that I've struggled with. Like, I've had like low dopamine before, and I've had high dopamine, and I've probably had like excessive dopamine and partied way too hard, you know? Like, that's another side of my life in my 20s, you know? Is like partying way too hard. And now I don't even drink. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything else, you know? And I've realised that this is the best that I've ever felt. And I think I was bored. As in, like, I wasn't doing what makes me happy. I was doing what was necessary, and I was doing too much of what was necessary and not enough of what makes me happy. Stone Cold Sober. Sounds like a really edgy rock song. Stone Cold Sober. There we go. Yeah. I mean, I've tried it like intermittently, and I'm not like the type of person, for me, that is going to be naive and go, you'll never drink again. Like, because I'm not like that. Like, but I'm much more aware of what it does. Like, the last couple of times I've tried to have a drink, I can never ever sleep. Like, I just can't sleep. It does something to my system and like massively wakes me up. And I don't know if it's because alcohol is an anti-androgen. And I know each anti-androgen you can have, like, for example, like mint tea is different to like peppermint tea, that is different to like soy. Can't have soy, terrible for me. That they will react differently in your system, but I also know that like alcohol also massively increases your cortisol levels. It downregulates your pregnenolone levels, from what I've read. I don't know if that has an impact on like me being able to sleep. So I've just ditched it, and I think that was like a big problem because like I was relying on that for like fun. And now I've like tried Twitch out. I want to do Twitch more, if I'm being really honest. Like, that's why I'm still here at like whatever time it is, 11:37, like over an hour. Like, it only takes me 20 minutes to put my makeup on, you know. Apart from today. But I want to do more of this because I like it. I like just being able to chat to people because I find that I've got like loads of stuff in my head, and I don't find that I've got like people to talk to about it. Like this whole like dopamine, serotonin, endocrine system chat. Like, what is it, like neuro something, neurotransmitters, all that kind of stuff. Like how different things affect your system. It's been really fun because I don't get to talk to people about it. Things like supplementation, it's like we could go on forever, I think. So yeah, I want to do more of this. Someone said, and loads of people have said that, I've got a voice for ASMR, so that is definitely on the list of things that I want to do. But I've got to find something to talk about for ASMR, so I was thinking like fairy tales maybe. Excuse me. Have I done everything that I wanted to? No, I haven't. What is that under there? Oh yeah, that's that. I can't see what that is. I did all that. I think it's there. Like, can I put this away yet? No. I need to do my lips. Yeah, I don't think I could just like start a chat like, hey, we're gonna talk about the endocrine system today in such a dark. I don't think if that'd go down particularly well, but I'm like well up for chatting about it like fluidly, like as and when it comes up, you know. Especially while listening to my Spotify, it's like, it's dopamine and dopamine. I'm really glad it came on, if I'm honest with you, because I was like that about doing it. Because I was like, I felt really tired, and I was like, they're not going to want to look at you like all like, I was like, you'll pack up. Me realising I don't have any lipstick here to hand. Do you know if you ever remember watching like Big Brother like years ago, and there's like a Scouse lady with blonde hair and she always used to do a lip liner like different colours to her lipstick? That's what I'm feeling right now, because I have no lipstick. You're doing some work between work. You're doing some work between work. You're a workaholic. Hi, nice to meet you. Not that I'm that either. I totally did not do any administration yesterday or the day before my supposed day offs, I promise. Studies on the role of dopamine in the sodium-potassium pump. I don't know what that is, but is that something to do with the adrenals? Because I've read that sometimes if you take contraceptive pills, which is a whole different topic because I can't take any of them because I literally get depressed. I kind of know how you feel on that, you know. I can empathise on that with like what I do. versus like what's inside my brain. My brain's like bouncing around, like thinking about all the stuff we've been talking about, and then I'm like, okay, time to forget about that. I don't know what the sodium potassium pump is, but I'm gonna guess adrenals, because I know that something potassium can be held in the adrenals. I also know that potassium can be held in muscles. You have to tell me before I go. I'm like, how long have I been online today for? Wow, an hour and a half, I did not realise. I'm like, I could definitely do this more. Well, I better brush my hair before I get myself all ready. Because I think all that stuff that I put on it earlier is probably like sunk into it. Oops! This is me throwing everything everywhere. Nerves and signal in the brain, yeah. Doesn't potassium make your muscles contract, and if you've got too much of it you can have a heart attack or something? Because is it the balance between, or is it that it relaxes the muscles? Is it potassium and sodium is the balance? Is that what you typed? Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah, isn't sodium like, is sodium the one that makes it contract and potassium makes it relax? Something like that, isn't it? See, that's another bit that's just been stored somewhere in the back of my brain. Like, I'm trying to get to it. I'm like, it's there somewhere. Right, this is gonna be me brushing my hair. Excuse me. I think I'm like inhaling makeup. Like, if you got too much of one and not enough of the other, just like with everything, you like get imbalanced, don't you? One thing I find is I don't really need much salt in my diet. I'm not sure why, but it can make me really ratty. I don't know if I store it really well or something. I'd love to click that link. I'm like, this is gonna be a rabbit hole, isn't it? It's a rabbit hole on the internet. Yeah, I could probably read that, but like, I can't right now. Because I gotta do stuff. I don't wanna do stuff, but I gotta do stuff, you know? My Thursdays are content creation days in some capacity, and today is photos and like some videos. But I want to do more days like this, where I can just chat. But I think that's like, it'll happen over time. Like, one of the milestones that I've got to hit is getting apparently like 5 people all talking in my chat room at once. And I've noticed I get the viewers, albeit like a small amount at the moment because I'm like really new. But like, sometimes people don't talk to me. I don't know if it's because like, I don't know if I'm like nervous about talking to me or something. But I'm like, I can be personable. There we go. Nervous and lacking. Yeah, please don't lack. I need like 5 people chatting all at the same time to be able to like take my, what do you call it? What do we call it? Like my twitching like a step further. So, oh, it's just, is it just frozen? Is it frozen? You took my ear off. Well, that's okay. Oh no, it hasn't frozen. But yeah, like I need to take things up a level. It's so that I can like allow subscriptions and things like that, because that would enable me then to do more of it. Like the more people that support the channel, the more I can do it. You know, like it's like a snowball thing. So the more people want me here, the more I'll be here, because I really enjoy the variety of it. Like I really struggle just doing like one thing, like because it just gets a bit like no dopamine, you know. Thank you. But I need 5 people chatting in my room at one point, because I've got the followers, and I think it's like I need to like do it on like so many different days or something, which is easy enough for me to do. But yeah, I need like 5 people in the same room at the same time, all talking. And now I've got 9 viewers, just at the perfect time for me to be like, and I gotta head off, because I've got to be like, not in the jumper, you know? Okay, well, that was something I was experimenting with, was this morning. Oh, Madonna's on. Ray of light, I love it. Yeah, I'm keeping it like that because I think that's like pretty standard. Like it told me that when I clicked it, it was like that is like pretty much normal. I think it's just to stop people like being horrible to you and just coming in and being like, I'm a troll. You know, it's like, did my mouth just like squeak? I think it did, yeah. Yeah, well, that's something that like I think I'm gonna just keep as that, and which is why it's gonna be like a time thing, like over time. Like I'm sure it'll like grow naturally, because I think if I put it at 0, like I could just be inviting like annoying people, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, once I've got 5 people like all chatting at the same time, then it'll like progress from there, and I'm gonna keep doing the mornings, I think. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna try doing the mornings. I'll have to get online earlier, I think, because I like to be ready for my like other stuff by about, I think it's 10 o'clock here, so it'd be like 9 o'clock in the UK. I'm like, how long have I been on for? An hour and a half? I'm like, I could do 2 hours. And like, it depends how much people want to see how terrible I am in the morning. Monday to Thursday. Okay, well, I'm here Thursday to Monday. Seriously, like, I'm being honest. Like, my Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they're the days that I do. So you can catch me on a Monday and a Thursday. But yeah, I think I'll have to go on it earlier, because it seems like the mornings I can really, really chat, you know. You're there, you're gonna be there on the days that you wouldn't usually be, or you're gonna like be there on the Monday and the Thursday. And like Tiny Toy, don't be scared to chat, okay? Like, I can talk your ears off, okay? Like who I am as a person and like who I am like beyond that, shall we say? 2 different things, you know? Anyway, it's been great chatting to everyone. I need to go and get another drink, and then I'm gonna be like, okie dokes. Well, I'll be putting the replay on YouTube. So like if you can give it a thumbs up over there, that would be really cool as well. And if you want to comment it or anything, that would also really help. And yeah, that is me like and I'll speak to you all again soon, okay? So I am gonna log out now. Thanks everyone. Bye. Hopefully see you tomorrow morning.